I am especially excited about tonight, first off, because it's the one night a year when we take time to stop and celebrate the schoolhouse and all that has happened here in the last few years, to share a meal and a toast to how we got here and where we're going. But I'm also excited because of our special guest this evening. I first met Bob in the spring of 2015, I think, on a drive west of Nashville to some friends of Column's house. Some friends of Column's, they invited us to a house church. And we were driving, we didn't know where we were going, and it was kind of a long drive, and so we had this book called Love Does that someone had passed on to us. And while Joey drove, I sat in the passenger seat and I read chapter 1. We were about 200 yards from the people's house, and you had to go by this little creek. And I remember stopping. We were so enthralled in the book that we stopped, turned the car off, and we just read and we listened. We were so drawn into the story. 200 yards from the house, we sat there reading and listening and crying together as we turned the pages. That first chapter of Bob's book was actually about a man named Randy, who made a big impact in Bob's life when he was a younger man in high school or around that time frame. Turned out, though, that most of the chapters that followed were similar. Although the book is about Bob, he used the chapters and the pages in his book to tell story after story of other people, especially his wife and his children. His story and his life is almost completely about lifting up others. And he reminds me that it's our stories. He reminds me that our stories are not about us. Mine is actually not about me, and yours is not actually about you. The story the school is telling is really not about the school. It's about Indiana and Caleb and Ezekiel and Piper and Easton and Briggs and all the kids that have gone here. And it's about the children and the parents. But it's also about the life of the people out there that it's touching. I believe that there are thousands, maybe millions of lives that our story that we're telling and that we're part of and that you're supporting. As we share it online, it really has made a difference. So that's how we got first introduced to Bob. A few months later, I came home one morning and I found my wife in bed with another man, which was especially complicated because it was our anniversary. That's disappointing. Except it's not exactly what you think. She was reading Bob's book again, this time all by herself. It was during a time that cancer was wreaking havoc on her body, and she was heartbroken. She was heartbroken that she might not get to be here to watch our baby grow up. But when I walked in that morning, you wouldn't have known she was heartbroken. Again, Bob used his story to lift someone else up. Although, Bob, she never got to meet you, she loved you. And she would be so tickled that you are here this evening. Let me show you that video.
What are you laughing at?
He's talking about the time he got his first table at the waitress as a waiter. He went to go with this massive reach to deliver the plates. He described this gassy moment that went on forever. I just got so tickled. Oh, God. Bob Goff is awesome. Can't really see nothing. Wow. As I finished my episode, looks of absolute shock from my guest came into focus. I think I heard a woman scream. I certainly caught the attention of the surrounding tables. A hushed silence descended on all of us as I just sit there, paralyzed, holding the prime rib high over the table. I didn't know what to say, and I was afraid that any moment it might set off an aftershock. Finally, one of the men got up, threw the napkin I had placed on his lap from the table, and walked straight to the mantelpiece. With punishing accuracy, I saw him describe what just went down, acting at my full extension as he stood with one foot and leaned over across the imaginary table. The sounds he tried to recount lacked a certain bass tone and texture, but overall, I think he got the general idea and duration right. I was fired on the spot. Oh, bless his heart. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good. Happy anniversary.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Goff.
That is a dirty trick play. I'm emotionally incontinent. I mean, I just cry at everything, which is really a problem if you're a trial lawyer. Oh, God. Oh, darn. Wow. I'm just so glad we're here together. Yeah, 107 billion.